In 1987, The Cure released their album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, and my friend Jamie and I are going to talk about it on this episode of Records with Ray. Okay, so in the 80s, I was a full-on like hard rock, heavy metal kind of guy. And then I got into punk rock. And again, most of the punk rock I listened to, I guess it would have been considered like hardcore punk. Mm-hmm. So everything I liked was like fast, aggressive, over the top, high energy kind of things. And I remember, but I still liked like some alternative stuff. Mm-hmm. Like when I saw the Jesus and Mary Chain on 120 Minutes, I really, really liked it. But again, it's very loud guitars.
It's really guitar heavy, even
it's really guitar heavy.
It's not like punk.
And then I remember like I saw the video for Just Like Heaven from The Cure. And of course, I did not like it. I didn't like it.
Was it like girly music for you?
Yeah, you're literally taking the words out of my mind. To me, it was like too girly. I remember it was like that song, and what was the other? I'd melt the world. I'd stop the world and melt with you. Like I remember, like these are the songs that like the alternative goth girls were into, and I'm like, this is not. I am not the target demographic. For this stuff. And to me, The Cure was Just Like Heaven, and I didn't really put much thought into it. And that's kind of how things were for a while. And then there was a video for Why Can't I Be You, and I did like that song. It's happy. It's upbeat. The riff is really catchy. The lyrics are very catchy. It's a great song. I'm like, wow, this is really, really good. And then I didn't buy Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me first. A friend of mine had Standing on the Beach.
Which is a fantastic album.
Yeah, it was my friend Kurt. Hey, Kurt, how you doing? And Standing on the Beach is essentially like almost like, it's a collections.
Yeah, it's all singles.
And I really liked like Primary, A Forest, Let's Take a Walk, Killing an Arab. I liked the earlier Cure stuff. And I really, really loved that album. And then it made me think, well, maybe I should give this Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me album another listen. Mm-hmm.
Had you listened to the whole album at that point, or had you just heard the songs that were released?
The only things I heard off of Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me was Just Like Heaven and Why Can't I Be You. But then I went back and got into it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still not a fan of Just Like Heaven. I'm just not. But there's so many other great songs.
It's a really poppy song.
What I realized about The Cure is that, okay, that may be a poppy song. But when you listen to the rest of Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, there's some deep themes going on. Mm-hmm. There's some dark themes going on.
There's a lot of darkness, even in some of like the upbeat songs.
Yeah.
If you listen to the lyrics. They're dark lyrics.
And then I kind of got it. And I kind of understood where The Cure is coming from. That I know this is not some sappy, teeny bopper kind of music. There's some depth here. But like you were saying, like what was the song for the Kiss? The Kiss.
Yeah.
And it's like about essentially like how you're regretting that you have.
Yeah, you're just like, get your fucking voice out of my head. I wish you were dead. Like, those are great lyrics. And they're not really teeny bopper.
I wish you were out of my head. I wish you were dead. Yeah, that's great lyrics.
It really is. It's a love song.
So, how did you get into Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me? Was that the first thing that you heard from The Cure?
It was. So I am a little bit younger than you. I was in 6th grade when that album came out.
Okay.
And at that time, like the things that my friends were listening to, it was this weird sort of, I was already a little bit of a weirdo. My friends were listening to like, well, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany. It was like stuff like that.
Oh, really? Really generic music.
Really, okay. Yeah, really like radio hits. We had a radio station called Z100 that was all the top 40 hits, and I hated that radio station because I thought the music was schlock. So I listened, I grew up listening to a lot of like Beatles and Beach Boys. I had gotten into the Talking Heads. In 6th grade was right around the time where I was starting to listen to some of like the hair metal. Motley Crue, I think, was a favorite of mine at the time.
Yeah.
I think U2 I think that's around the time when Joshua Tree was out. if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
These all kind of swim in my brain as being in that time period. I was still kind of discovering, like, who I was. Obviously, I was like 12. I was in 6th grade, 11 or 12 years old. And I heard Just Like Heaven on the radio. There was a different, a non-top 40 station that I used to listen to, but I think it was...
You heard it on the radio, not on MTV.
I didn't have a TV at the time.
No.
But I heard it on a radio station.
Okay.
And I really liked it, but I didn't know what it was, but it quickly became my favorite song. And at that time I used to, spend my allowance on cassette tapes and stuff, and I got the cassette tape based on just that song, and it was really weird. I didn't know what it was, it was kind of like, because I was expecting this
all
sort
these
of
songs.
like, songs that sound like Just Like Heaven.
Oh no.
And then it was
no.
And then I was at an age still where I'm like, they said the F word, but that album for me, I think I kind of like listened to it, was like, that wasn't what I was expecting, and just sort of set it on the shelf and went on with my life. And I actually came back to that album a couple of years later, when I got more, like around 8th grade, was when I got into punk.
Okay.
That's, and in learning about how to be a baby punk, that band that I'd already had a cassette tape of, like, their name popped up a lot. And then I also heard Standing on a Beach. My friend had that cassette tape, and I remember borrowing it and going like, oh, like it was like hearing this band, kind of for the second time, but really hearing them for the first time. So I revisited this, album that I already had and didn't know what to make of it. And then, I was a much more mature 14-year-old at this point.
Amazing what 2 years can do.
Yes, right? I had already loved and lost at that time. I could feel the ache in those songs.
You're an old soul.
Yes. No, but that's when I kind of came back to that album, was when it had been out for a couple of years, and it was before Disintegration came out.
Okay.
So I was like primed,
Oh yeah, there was a chunk of time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that because it's 2 years.
Yeah.
But 2 years when you're in high school is a long time.
When you're that age, I mean, I was in middle school. That's a huge 2 years is like a lifetime at that age. But so that's when that album, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, really solidified in me about 2 years after it came out. And to this day, I think it's a great album. They're really great, and a lot of it is that. It is, I don't want to say it's a disjointed album, but sort of like Standing on the Beach, where it's an album of singles. Each song sort of stands on its own. Yeah. And you kind of hear that, the manic depressiveness that is Robert Smith. He goes through his happy I'm in love periods, and then like the whole world is terrible and I wish everyone was dead. And like through, the album, you hear like all of Robert Smith's moods. And it's great when you're like a moody teenage girl, because you're like, I feel like this. I go through those moods every single day.
Yeah, and I think that is the reason why The Cure has affected so many people, because just those emotions,
all of your moods are encapsulated
across the board. From the deepest depression to like the very happiness.
Yeah.
I think that is the reason why I became more of a Cure fan, is because once I realized that there's substance to it. Because if Just Like Heaven was just a pop song and all the songs that they did were pop songs, I don't think The Cure would have impacted me as much as they did.
No, I mean, I think that, you have that connection. It really does. It comes down to the lyrics, but also I feel like with their music, it's not just the lyrics telling you about the emotion, because the way that Robert Smith plays guitar is like his guitar, like George Harrison's guitar gently wept. Robert Smith's guitar goes through all of those same emotions that Robert Smith is going through. When he's happy, his guitar sounds really perky. And when he's sad, it sounds really sad.
Sure, Jamie. Whatever you say.
You know I'm right.
You're right. Comparing Robert Smith's guitar playing to George Harrison. I gotta give credit to MTV because I saw The Cure on MTV. And when I'm thinking about other goth bands, like I remember seeing like a Bauhaus video once.
Like the Bela Lugosi's Dead video or something.
On 120 minutes at like 145. You know,
they were like 110 minutes into 120.
I mean, there were the goth bands out there, but they didn't get that much exposure. I mean, and so if you were into any of that music, you're going off of what maybe they looked like on their album cover. Mm-hmm. But maybe since The Cure became pretty popular as far as it goes on MTV. People saw him and they're like, okay, well, there you go. There's
my look.
There's our template.
So I had this poster of him, my favorite poster, from back in the day. And it was Robert Smith and Susie Sue.
Wow.
And it's a great picture. You've probably seen it. He's kind of like this. Like, he looks like he's giggling. And then they look like they're having a good time. And she's got, like, a shirt with some, like, I don't know, a devil or some sort of Japanese devil-y looking thing on there. But they're like, his hair is short in this particular one, like, pretty clipped up well on the sides, but still really big and spiky on top, and you can tell he's got eyeliner and lipstick on. But like when his hair was longer, like if I look at, Susie Sue in that time period and Robert Smith when his hair's long, their whole, like, hair and makeup is fairly similar. Like, she has a little more eye makeup going on because she had the whole,
she
like,
looks a little bit more manlier than Robert Smith. Because he kind of has, like, round features. And stuff like
he's
that.
like, he has really round features now.
Happens to the best of us.
It really does. And you know what? More power to them that, like, they're still going strong. And they, you know what? They still play a lot of music from Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. Yeah. I saw them a couple summers ago. I had not seen them live for 20 years. And it was really fantastic, getting to see them again. On those big video screens. They didn't show any close-ups of Robert's face.
They show him from behind.
They were like panning
they're down and it's just like the top of his head.
They're panning way back. Never once was there a close up of Robert's face.
No side views.
I was like, aw, we still love you. It's okay. Like, I don't know how old he is now, but he's put in, he's had a good life. We're all gonna be there.
I'm really glad that you made that judgment for Robert Smith. I'm sure he's wondering that every day. Did I have a good life? Well, Jamie here is here to tell you, Robert, that you had a good life.
I think that and I'm saying that because
he's Robert Smith.
Because he's Robert Smith and he's
probably a multimillionaire.
He's done well. No, but also, okay, think about it. I feel like he's impacted a lot of people's lives positively. I know he's positively impacted my life. We've never met, but he's had a big impact, and that's a good thing. We can all hope to impact somebody else's life in a positive way.
I honestly hope somehow, some way, Robert Smith somehow sees this video.
I'm just gonna
I was questioning my value.
Completely internet stalk him and just creepily send him a link to the video.
You need to make Robert Smith your friend on Facebook. And you can share it on his wall.
He would love it. I know he would.
Yeah.
You gotta love your fans, right?
No, you don't.
I still consider myself a Robert Smith fan, even though I haven't really followed their music for a long time. But yeah, the album we're talking about, it's got good songs on it. What's your favorite song on Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me?
You're like a boat. You're like a plane that just will never land. You're you're just keeping it going.
Go.
Keep the conversation going.
Well, we didn't talk about any of the songs on the album, so
Yeah, I guess we should talk about.
We probably should.
My favorite song on Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me still is Why Can't I Be You?
What is it that you like about that? Is it because you want to be me?
No, it's just catchy. It's a catchy song. Yeah, there's no. I like that. Torture is another great song. But yeah, I know it's generic, but that's my favorite song on
It's
it.
okay to have a generic favorite song.
But I mean, is yours just like heaven?
I still love the song "Just Like Heaven," but I think one of my favorites. It's hard to say because it is such a great album, but lyrically, I think "The Kiss" is one of my favorites, just because it's. I mean, there's a song called Torture on that one, but The Kiss is a more torturous song. I think anybody who's ever, felt that awfulness that is love, you can, that song lays it all out there. This is what you signed up for.
So in the 80s, I was a full-on hard rock, heavy metal kind of guy. I liked bands like Doc and...
Robert Smith looks more goth than he ever sounded.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well,
with the spiky black hair and the eyeliner. Oh my gosh, I had posters of him up in my room as a teenage girl, and boy, did I used to dream about those. Because, something about guy-liner.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because...
it's a good look.
Before he started doing the crazy hair, he looked like Ben Affleck. Hey gang, this is Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more videos, please click on the subscribe button. And if you like what you see, please give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing Hawaiian shirts, well, when I'm not talking about records, I'm talking about my other love, Tiki. I have a show called Tiki with Ray. If you want to check that show out, just search Tiki with Ray on YouTube. It'll come up.